Have you ever been in a situation where you've created a goal, you've accomplished that goal, you got your accolades, but it just isn't seeming like enough? Like it's like, oh yeah, I did it, but it's not really doing anything for me. If that's been you, if you have ever been in that situation where your goals just aren't satisfying you, stay tuned in because guess what? We are about to get into it. Let's go. Peace and blessings, y'all. What's going on? It is yours, your host, the one and only KiMu JTD, and you are now rocking with KiMu. And we're going to we're going to talk about a topic that, I mean, there are a few things that have changed my life, but this one right here, this one literally took my expectations of myself and how I choose to move about in life to a completely different level. So, if you are looking for more content like that, more content where you want to hear about my experience taking my life to the next level, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And you might as well like it right now because I know you won't like it. So let's go ahead. Let me not waste any more time. Let's get into it. All right. So just to kind of kick it off, a lot of people set goals. Most people set goals. Some people's goals are actually set for them, like especially when we're not adults yet. Like up until we're adults, typically our parents or caregiver even the government is setting goals for us. They're setting our goals. They're not leaving us in charge, which has a whole slew of negative consequences for us as human beings. But we're going to talk about that later. We're literally here talking about surpassing just goals, moving that to the next level, taking that a step higher, so that way we can actually live a fulfilling lifestyle. I kid you not. When I started doing this, creating this, it became a different ball game. And we get stuck with goals, we accomplish goals, and they don't mean anything. Like that was the thing that pissed me off the most, is I'm setting goals and they don't mean anything. So it's like, well, what am I doing? I'm not accomplishing anything that I care about. I got this job, I don't care about it. I got this. I'm getting this. I'm in the running for this promotion. I don't care about it. I'm getting this raise. I don't care about it. I'm doing all these things and I don't care about it. Why? Here's why. You're missing one thing, and that is called a vision. What is a vision? To me, a vision is a grand picture of what you want your life to look like. If I have this, I want this, I want that, I want to be like this is what I want. The whole big picture is your vision. I want a family of 5, I want a family of 4, I want a big house. Run it down the list. That when I started to create a vision, oh, all those goals that I was hitting, they were cool. And I've always operated like that. I've always been like, like getting a trophy, that don't mean nothing to me. Getting a plaque, that don't mean nothing to me. When actually, and this was recent, I was going through old like things that my mom had framed way back when I was a teenager. And the one piece of paper that I kept dear and dear to my heart, and I have it on the side of my bed, is a note on a piece of paper, on a certificate. I don't remember what it is, that literally describe the appreciation that somebody had for certain aspects of my character. I could care less about winning a basketball game. I could care less about getting a trophy. I could care less about getting a raise. But when you start talking about my character, that means I have impact. Character gives you impact because that gives you influence to actually help other people. That gives people somebody to say, yo, that person, that woman, that male, that female, whoever, however you want to, whatever pronoun you want to put in there, yo, she's dope. I like her. I want to be around her more. I see a light in her that I don't see in a lot of people. When I get stuff like that, that's what drives me forward. So a vision is the grand picture that you want to pick versus a goal. A goal is like one of those things. It's just something that you want to accomplish. Just something like, oh, I want a family of 5. Oh, I want a new car. I want to be a manager. These are the short term. These are the small the steps to getting the vision. And the thing is, the more goals that you accomplish in respect with your vision, when I say in respect with, I mean that are aligned with your vision, the more clear your vision will become. I promise you. I'm telling you everything based off of my experience. Let's get into how we can start creating the vision, because that's what's more important. Knowing a vision, that's great. But creating one, more important. All right, let's get into it. First thing, and let me just say this, they're not in order. You start where you need to start. So let's get into it. So, tip number one, who do you want to be? Now, I know we have been programmed to think about what we want to be. And that question of who has tripped people up for probably their entire life. Like, when somebody asks you, who are you? You're like, well, here's my name. I'm KiMu. And I went to school here, and I'm from here, and this is my experience. But that don't necessarily tell me who you are. And the thing is, who you are is going to constantly be changing, and it's going to be dependent on the environment that you're in. That's the great part about being who you are. But also, the even better part is you get to choose who you want to be. That's why the first tip is, who do you want to be? I want to be a loving human. I want to be loving. I want to be kind. I want to be generous. I want to be authentic. I want to be unapologetic. I want to be forgiving. I want to be powerful. I want to be influential. All of these terms that are going to describe who you want to be are going to be very important in your vision. Because the thing is, when you start to associate yourself with the who, if you're going to start to manifest and become that person. That's the important part, is you're worrying about the who. If you've seen my earlier video in which I'm talking about be, do, have, you have to be the person in order to do the things that are going to get you to have the things that you want. Be, do, have. You have to be the person in order to get what you want. So that way you can maintain it. Because that's the important part, is that you maintain it. So, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a loving person? Do you want to be a spiteful person? Do you want to be a generous person? Do you want to be a stingy person? Do you want to be an authentic person? Or do you want to be a person who lacks integrity? A shady person? Think about that. I hope y'all writing this stuff down, because this stuff is crucial. I'm telling you, this creating a vision literally changed my life for the better. It not only changed it, it helped me elevate. It helped me understand and get to a place where all of these little small steps are just blessings and wins, so that way I can get closer to my goal. Because these baby steps are aligned with my goal. Tip number two is, what do you want to have? When you're thinking about what do you want to have, what are your wants in life? What are the things that you want where you can say, yo, if money didn't matter, if money wasn't going to phase me in any way, shape, or form, this is what I want to have. I want to have a Lamborghini. I want to have a Ferrari, Porsche, a Challenger Hellcat. I want to have a mansion. I want to have 10 acres of land where I have a 10,000 square foot home that has 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. I have an infinity, run down all of the things that you want in life. I want to travel. I want to be able to have, what is it that you want if money was not an obstacle? And then you will start to attract it, because this is your vision. Your vision is going to be stuck in your head because it's yours. It's unique. It's who you want to be. It's what you want to have. It's where you want to be. Where do you want to be in this vision? Maybe where you are is not where you want to be. Maybe where you want to be is you want to be in another state. You may like the state that you're in. You may love the area that you're in. You may live in Atlanta, but actually living in Atlanta may not be where you want to be. Maybe you want to be in a surrounding suburb. Maybe if we get a little bit more specific, you may live in a suburb of Atlanta. You may want to live in, if you know Atlanta, you may want to live in Roswell, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta. You may want to live in Buckhead. If you live, I'm not too familiar with California, but maybe you want to live in San Diego, a neighborhood in San Diego, a wealthy neighborhood in San Diego, where you can walk outside and you're embraced by millionaires. Maybe you want to live in Florida. Maybe you want to live in Puerto Rico. Maybe you want to live in Australia. Wherever you want to live, that's part of your vision. Where do you want to be in this vision? Who do you want to be? What do you want to have? Third, where do you want to be? Maybe where you want to be, you're already there physically, but maybe it's a mental shift. Because that's a place too. Thoughts create places. Thoughts can create an environment. So maybe where you want to be, where do you want to be in life? Well, in this vision, I want to be in a position where I'm financially free. Where do you want to be? Thirdly, visualize. Now, visualize, if you had a little bit of trouble, especially answering the who, you might want to start with the visualization. Because maybe you need ideas to spark this vision to go. Maybe you need something that's going to get that activation, get those gears turning and being like, oh snap, that's possible. That's possible. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know I could make money doing this. I love doing this. I didn't know I could make money doing this, making a life out of this. Visualization. Go, if you think, I need to have a visual of whatever this is, there's a few resources that you can go to. And there's actually two ways to visualize. You can, one, create a vision board, or 2, you can go on social media. Now, most people, based on statistics, last time I checked, most people in America are spending 6.5 hours on social media platforms. Now, it ain't none of my business about what you're doing, but the fact that the average person is spending 6.5 hours on social media is a statement. Maybe you're one of those people who are literally just aimlessly scrolling. Let's be more intentional. Let's start following people or channels or pages or brands who are actually, whether they live in it or not, it doesn't really matter. But they are actually showing what the potential is that lies within you. Maybe you want a Ferrari, but you don't see yourself having a Ferrari. Maybe you need to get a picture, that glimpse of somebody actually having that Ferrari that can sit here and get into your mind and say, oh, that's possible. I want it. I remember there was a point when I was in a multi-level marketing company and I saw one of my favorite leaders at the time. I was like, yo, he's doing that? Like, I knew that it was possible. I knew that I could do it. But once you see it, it's a completely different experience. It took me to another level where I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that because you hear about people building their own home, retiring their parents, moving their parents out into a place that they actually want to be in, taking their entire family on trips. But it's different when you hear somebody that you actually know, or you've been in their space, or you see them every day, and it's like, oh snap, I can do that. I have the ability to do that too. Well, let's get it done. Let's get it popping. It's a different thing when you start to visualize. And not only is visualization key just on your phone, but you can go to these places, getting the exposure, getting exposed to these neighborhoods that have these big $1 million homes, if that's what you want. Getting exposed to these cars, this Ferrari, this Tesla, the McLaren, Lamborghini, BMW i8. Getting exposed to these things, it'll change how you're moving, because now you're starting to get the gears turning in your mind. Oh snap, what? I could do that? Okay, all right. I'm intrigued. And you start to move, and you now stop asking saying, well, I can't. Now you start focusing on, well, how can? All right. So that's tip number 4, visualize. And I spoke on this a little bit with the visualization, but getting exposed, like exposure, you can't get enough of it. You really can't, because exposure draws you closer. It evokes that feeling within you, because the thing is, here's just how visions work. Visions require both sides of the brain. They require your imagination, and it requires your logical mind, your analytical mind, to start structuring what it is that you want that vision to look like. So it's literally like being a kid. I want a mansion. I want this. I want that. I'm pretty sure when you were a kid, and I might be telling my age, but you watching Pimp My Ride, MTV Cribs, things of that nature, you like, yo, like that's what's possible. You're watching music videos, hip hop music videos especially. You might be seeing like Tupac, he's on like 5 acre land having a party. That might be the life that you want to live. You got to get exposed first, though. You got to start reading. Maybe even going to Barnes and Noble, looking at a house magazine, start getting ideas. Maybe looking at car magazines, start getting ideas. Getting exposed is going to be crucial. And you creating this vision. Because guess what? Once you start, and I talked about this in a previous video, once you start creating that vision, making decisions becomes a whole lot easier. Because guess what? If that opportunity is not aligned with your vision, nix it. Next. Just like a dating app. Next. It's that simple. It's not aligned. I don't want to do that. I'm sitting here wanting to be over here. You trying to get me over here. Nah. So those are the 5 tips in creating your vision. Tip number 1. Who do you want to be? Tip number 2. What do you want to have? Tip number 3. Where do you want to be? Tip number 4. Visualize. Get familiar with the possibilities that lie within you and that are out there for you to have. Everything out there that you know of or don't know of is for you to have. Only if you want it and are willing to work for it. And 5, get exposed. Once again, everything out there is for you to have. It's for everybody to have, but you gotta want it. And not just want it, you gotta desire it. And those desires are going to translate into your vision. Hey, peace and blessings. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel. This is your host, yours truly, the one and only KiMu JTD, and you have now just rocked out with KiMu. Yo, this stuff it's not that deep. All we need to do is 1% every day. And we'll get closer to our vision. We'll get closer to our goals. We'll get 1% better every day. If you like the content that I have given you today, if you felt like this video was valuable, please do yourself a favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Alright? So that way you can get notified, and the bell. So that way you can get notified every single time that I drop a video. So you can get more, so you can keep rocking out with KiMu. You keep getting tuned in, plugging in to your boy. Alright? If you like the video, go ahead and subscribe. But more importantly, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know whether you liked it, didn't like it, what it is that you didn't like it, so that way I can better serve you. I can give you content that you really are looking to have. So once again, thank you so much. Peace and blessings. You enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you next time. Peace.